What is good, Ninja? OG over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch and gaming news video. Today, we've got some great topics depending on how you look at it, and also some more rumors with Fallout as well, so we'll get into that. But first, we're going to start off on a little bit of a weird note. So EA has been talking about Fifa quite a bit, and they were pressed on some of the missing features compared to the PS4 and Xbox One versions, and here's what they had to say, with the developers saying that the Nintendo Switch hardware is very difficult and other things. So let's go ahead and get into this Eurogamer interview with this dude's name that I cannot pronounce, but he's the main dude that you've been seeing talking about FIFA on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this is the question when he was asked if the FUT championships and squad battle modes didn't make the cut due to the casual players, which don't know what the type of question is, but here's what he had to say, quote, "I see it as being more social, casual, represents different things to different people. I look at them as two different games, two different worlds that I think we should take for what they are. And keep in mind that we should try not to force people onto certain things just because it works on a certain platform." So he's already kind of just damaged control and say, hey, well, we shouldn't have to put this on here because it's a different platform, it's a different thing, there's all sorts of different stuff going on. So, you know, we shouldn't force it. So then he also goes on to say that FIFA 18 on Switch lacks things like the journey follow-up, the new cinematic, career mode transfers, and special animation system, and more. He said the hardware is very difficult and went on to say that a future mode exactly like the journey is unlikely. On top of that, getting that content in the game would take an army of people if it was possible to be done. And finally, he ends with trying to say that he doesn't think that it's impossible to do more with this engine. So he does kind of leave some type of sliver, but basically says he doesn't think it's impossible. It's just it would take a lot more resources and time. And like Go Nintendo, as far as RMC says on his post, he says this is the first time that he's actually heard a developer say this about the Nintendo Switch when it comes to the development process. And I think what he's trying to say as far as this developer from EA, he's trying to say that, like, to get everything that they're offering there with the tech that they're using, because EA doesn't care about the Switch, they don't want to put Frostbite on there, or they didn't want to put a version on there for them to use in order to do that, or whatever the case is, then it's hard. And for them to do that, they would actually need time and resources, and the same type of time and resources that the PS4 and Xbox One enjoy, you'd have to do that for the Switch. And why would you do that for the Switch so far? Like, there's no reason. It doesn't have the install base of the other two, it doesn't have the power of the other two, so why would you spend that time and resource in order to get those things on the Nintendo Switch? Now, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing from FIFA on there, while it looks like a pretty decent game, obviously it's running 1080p, 60 frames per second, I'm not big on soccer or football. I'm not big on the world's game of football, okay? I don't know how these things are supposed to play when it comes to FIFA. I don't know the mechanics of soccer as much as these other people out there. But I will say this, to say that you can't get some extra modes, to say that you're tapping out the Nintendo Switch and you don't have more resources or anything like that, that just shows incompetence or laziness in order to get the product out that's equal to the other ones out there. You guys could do it, but EA is just not going to give you the resources. You say an army of people, so the army of people that it takes to build Frostbite and that it takes to put the PS4 and Xbox One versions, that takes to do that, like that you guys spend the time for all that, but the Nintendo Switch audience to you, or at least to EA, I wouldn't say to him because it's not his call, it's EA, is not worth that at this point. Now, here's what I do feel, because obviously it seems pretty negative right now as far as what I'm saying, and yes, it definitely is. However, I do feel that if this version of FIFA does well, even at a reduced price if it does well, I do feel that EA could potentially add more to it. So I will say this, because people have been asking, well, what should I get? What should I do? Well, you should get what you want, first of all. Don't ever come to me as far as that, unless you guys want me to tell you, like, hey, what should you get? Then I'll give you guys an example. But I would never really say, you guys have to do this or anything like that. But I will say this, if you want a portable, good version of FIFA and you don't care about these modes, because those modes that they mentioned, from what I understand, they're not the greatest things in the world, okay? And the FIFA on the Switch does have some great modes. It has enough for whatever. If you want a portable version, if that's important to you, if playing portably during TV or whatever that is important to you, then get the FIFA on the Switch. If you feel that you need all of that extra stuff that you might play or you might not play and you want to sit in front of your TV and play, then PS4 and Xbox One's for you. If you are worried about the online price, Nintendo Switch is going to be a lot cheaper. It's going to be $20 compared to the $60 of PS4 and Xbox One. Then maybe the Nintendo Switch version is for you. So look at the pros and cons of each version, because each version does have pros and cons. Obviously, PS4 and Xbox One have a lot more pros, it does seem, but portability is big for a lot of people, so really base it on that. Alright, that's what I would say to you guys. Me, I'm not buying FIFA on any platform, so it doesn't matter. So let me know what you guys think about that, and for all the FIFA fans out there, what are you going to be doing? You going to be picking this one up or not? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Game Freak doesn't think Pokemon will ever appear on another platform outside of Nintendo. So Game Freak has really close ties to Nintendo, even going back before the studio even started working on Pokemon game. Now, the company's first project was Quinty for the NES, followed by Yoshi a couple of years later. Now, Pokemon has been Game Freak's staple bread and butter franchise. That's their money maker. That's what they do for many, many years. But they have branched out just a little bit with Tembo, the badass elephant, that came to like PS3 or PS4, Xbox One, and PC, something like that. And they also did Giga Wrecker, which was just announced for the PC. But still, Pokemon is very unlikely to leave Nintendo platforms. However, it doesn't seem like the Pokemon, the main core games, are really going to go outside to competing platforms at all. Now, Game Informer did speak with Game Freak co-founder Junichi Matsuda as part of a big feature with the latest issue, and one of the topics that was brought up was exactly who owns Pokemon, and it's a bit tricky, but ultimately Matsuda highlighted that the rights do lie between 3 different companies: Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures Inc. So Matsuda went on to talk about Game Freak's relationship as a friendship. Now, quote, "Everyone really knows Nintendo. There is a familiarity with the brand, and they have that really strong brand, and Pokemon being associated with that and being affiliated with that brand is very important." Now, Game Informer did ask if Pokemon will ever appear on different platforms, and the answer posted is probably what you would expect, really. They just said, yeah, with Pokemon, at least we really feel it is important to be with Nintendo, specifically with the Pokemon titles, so I don't think that would ever happen. Now, they have a big relationship, obviously, with Nintendo. They have the big new Pokemon game coming to Nintendo Switch, and yeah, Nintendo does own some of the share of the Pokemon franchise when it comes to things. They do have some stake within Game Freak, so a Pokemon game can't really come to competing platforms without Nintendo's say somewhat, or Nintendo would have to get rid of their ownership of Pokemon in order to do so, and that's just not going to happen. Pokemon is a cash cow. It's pretty much a business in its own self, but being affiliated with like Nintendo is good. For example, like Smash Brothers. Like every single time there's a new Smash Brothers, since Nintendo owns that franchise, like Pokemon is going to get a huge representation in that, which in turn helps sell the other games. So I don't really think that you're going to see it on other platforms, obviously, like you said there, unless Nintendo somehow gets rid of their share of owning that. And why the heck would they do that? Although I think that if Nintendo ever did want to, it would sell for a king's ransom, their share with it. It would sell for so much. You would have people, you would have billionaires coming out of the woodwork in order to try to get their hands on that, because obviously that's a very strong brand, a multi-billion-dollar brand within itself. So yeah, but it's not going to happen. So I don't even know what else to really add to it. I'm looking forward to Pokemon on Nintendo Switch. I think it's going to be dope. We're going to have the first console/hybrid Pokemon adventure, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, and moving on to the last article here, we do have an update on the rumor with the Spanish retailer listing for Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition on the Nintendo Switch. So for those who aren't filled in, let me fill you guys in. So apparently there was a listing on a Spanish retailer site for Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, okay? But the date was a little off. I think it said like September something on there, so it's probably not coming in September. We would probably know about the game if it was coming that soon. However, they have updated things. They did not take down the listing. All they did was take off the date from the listing recently. So if this was false, or if someone told them to take it down, then they probably would have just taken it down. Like, we've seen listings as far as fake ones get taken down pretty quickly afterwards, so you feel that, hey, you know, we busted this one, this is not real. But they left it up. All they did was just edit to where there's no date. So that definitely shows that there's something going on. It bodes well that there is something going on there. And in my recent podcast that I did with Direct Feed Games, make sure you check it out on the channel, the PlayerEssence Cross Nintendo Live, we both talked about this, and Skyrim and Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition apparently run on a similar engine or the same one. So if you're putting Skyrim on there, and there's been great reception to Skyrim, it's running pretty good. People are happy with the port so far as from what they've seen from trade shows, and there's some nice exclusive exclusive content, why not bring something else there if you can get it done in a timely fashion and things are looking up for Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch? So I definitely feel that this bodes well that it could be happening. We've seen these listings before. It's still a rumor that it's going to come. There is no official confirmation, so please make sure you remember that. However, the listing staying up definitely bodes well. It's better than nothing at this point, but I do feel that there was such a positive response to Skyrim so far, and I think that it's going to sell well. I think we're going to get Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition on the Switch, but we don't know yet. So we don't know 100%. I'm just saying I think. I'm just going to go over 50% chance, just my own personal opinion on the matter based on this listing here. A lot of it is based on that. If we didn't get this listing, I'd be like, well, I don't really know what's going on here. But the fact that we're getting that, the fact that they've updated it to the point where they just say, okay, well, we'll take off the date, but hey, we're still leaving this listing up, that makes me think that it could be coming here. But let me know what you guys think, man. I mean, some of these things have been wrong before. A lot of them have been right. It really just depends. It's a coin flip somewhat. However, I'm hoping and I'm thinking that we can definitely get some Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition on the Nintendo Switch. I think it would be absolutely dope to go through portably and play some Fallout. I probably wouldn't even hook it up to the TV only to stream it, to be honest. Other than that, it'd just be a portable mode during football season. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also make sure you check out our Patreon page. Pledge any tier and be entered to win some awesome prizes each month. In addition to that, we have Discord voice chat and $10 prize eShop tournaments from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. So support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. Also make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you ninja for the next video. Peace.